I want to talk to Heidi Beirich, who's on the line with us. She's from the Southern Poverty Law Center, a nonprofit that sort of attacks hate and intolerance with education and the rest. Heidi, it's hard to, in general terms, speak of people like this, extremists who snap, but I know that's one of the things that folks like your organization are studying and trying to prevent people like this from slipping through the cracks. What sort of insight can you offer?
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. That is something we're extremely concerned about. And when people get sucked into neo-Nazi and other extremist ideologies, sometimes that is what happens and they crack. And this guy has been involved in Holocaust denial and neo-Nazi thinking and racism since the 1970s. He's a prime candidate for sort of going off the rails, and unfortunately, that's what happened here.
You know, the Homeland Security warned us that there was that they've sensed that this was an opportunity, this was a time when extremists might, homegrown style extremists like this man, they mentioned at the time with a military background, might begin going off. Is this something that your organization has noticed, chronicled in any way?
Yeah, well, I mean, the truth is that the Department of Homeland Security report got savaged, but they were on to something there. We've had several examples of domestic terrorism just in the last few months. We had a crazed cop killer in Pittsburgh who was motivated by racism and anti-government views, who killed 3 people in his front yard. We had a guy actually found with the components of a dirty bomb, according to the FBI, in January in Bangor, Maine, who had a whole bunch of anti-government beliefs. We've had 2 assassination plots against the president, one that was, perpetrated by some skinheads. So we're seeing an uptick in domestic terrorism, unfortunately, right now.
Hey, how are you handling that, especially through your organization? I know it makes things, well, busier.
Well, it makes it very busy. I mean, our biggest concern right now is to make sure that we're getting the right information into law enforcement's hands so that they can deal with these problems. And so we're monitoring all these websites and email lists and publications that we get from these folks, racists and anti-government types, and when we see something frightening, we're either publishing it or passing it on to law enforcement.
You know what I'm curious about? I wonder, Heidi, I hate to keep going back to the president, but there are these crazies out there who want to pretend he's not a citizen of the United States, who want to pretend that his religion is something they see as in some way troublesome to them and all of us. And there is a group perpetuating this thought, and there is a culture to which you can attach yourself very easily through the internet. And I wonder to what degree you think that sort of thing is extremely dangerous when we know it's absolutely, there is no truth whatsoever, zero, to any of those ideas, yet they live within the computer and they fester in people's minds.
Shepard, you're hitting the nail on the head. We're extremely concerned about these kinds of crazed conspiracies, whether they're about the president or the fact we're hearing things like FEMA setting up camps to round up Americans and put them in. I'm getting bad sort of deja vu from the 1990s when anti-government militias were on the rise, when Tim McVeigh committed that violence in Oklahoma City, and I really am hoping that we're not going through a repeat of that.
Well, I hope so too. Heidi Beirich, all the best to you and yours at that terrific organization. All the best. Keep us updated.